Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Happy Tuesday, guys. Carmine Bianco here from WagerTalk.com with another edition of Stoppage Time. Soccer is in full flight. Champions League is less than a month away from the knockout stages, and we're looking forward to it. But on today's card, we are going to discuss 3 EPL games, one for today, a couple for the rest of the week, and one game from La Liga. Hopefully no arrows are being thrown in that one. We'll discuss it when we do that game. But with me from WagerTalk.com, it's Nick Borrman and Kevin Dolan. And from SportsMemo, Pavlos Laguretos. Let's bring him in. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you first, my friend. How are things in Europe?
Yeah, things are looking great. Of course, if you talk about, soccer, but yeah, it's been going great this past week. I'm plus 25 units over the last 6 days. I had a draw yesterday in the Africa Cup of Nations, and Napoli win the money line. The Africa Cup of Nations, I've been saying this, since before the tournament started. You have to bet on the overs, a couple of the unders. A couple of money lines, a couple of draws. It's been going great for me, guys. I have a lot of plays this week. Actually, it's a really exciting week. I think I've never been this excited in months. I have a 10% on Sunday. I have a 5% for today. I have a lot of cards for today, tomorrow, and the day after. There is a lot of stuff going on, a lot of soccer action, and I'm jumping in, on a lot of plays, and I'm feeling very, very confident about them.
That is quite the intro. I think you used up all your words in like a 60-second span there, Pavlos. Good to you, and good to hear you're on a roll as well. Nick Borrman, what's going on?
What's up, guys? Well, I avoided it for 2 years, but I finally got the COVID. So I'm just at home, quarantining, even though I feel fine. Family, 3 out of 4 of us got it. Everybody's pretty much fine. So that's what's going on in my world. But on the handicapping side, just gives me more time to look at stuff. We got Australian Open in full swing. That's for Kevin. Golf in full swing, also for Kevin. Doing very well. Won both golf tournaments so far this year. Won both tennis tournaments so far this year. Australian Open is off to a great start as well. And I had my first ever 5% tennis play going tonight. So check that out. And soccer, 8-3 over the weekend. So pretty much great across all fronts right now.
Awesome. Good to hear about the sports part of it. As far as the health part of it, hopefully you guys just stay quarantined, you stay well, recover quickly, and then just continue on with life. I've avoided it so far. I could have had it and not known, but I've avoided it so far. And I'm pretty sure, given the weather that we're having here, I'm north of Toronto, but given the weather that the East Coast and we've had up here, I'm pretty sure that staying indoors for you right now is probably a good thing, right? I'm sure you guys got a ton of snow.
We don't have any snow. Oh. We had a couple days where it snowed, like 4 inches, and then it was gone within 2 days. So we have nothing on the ground right now. It's just cold.
Yeah, you're lucky. You know what I mean? We got 2 feet of snow overnight. Took 2 hours to Kev. It took us 2 hours to clear the driveway. You know, as I stood there recording with my iPhone, I couldn't help but think maybe I should help my wife shovel the snow. But 2 hours, we got it done. It was the important thing. How are things for you, Kev?
Yeah, all good, Carmine. And if it makes Nick feel any better, I'm in quarantine too. Made the move over to Korea over the weekend, so after the 14 days over here, I'm not bored. I'm actually starting to watch golf. That's how boring it is in this quarantine. But yeah, still recovering a bit from the jet lag, but overall pretty good. I had a fantastic weekend myself. Ran a 5-0 sweep on NFL and NBA on Sunday. Had to pump the brakes a little on Monday. We had the 5% in AC Milan. Really not sure what happened in that game, to be honest. They should have been 2-0 up at the half. Missed a penalty in that game. Outshot Spezia 12 shots to 2. They looked in cruise control, but the wheels came off in that second half, and that head scratching goal near the end as well. But overall, been very good. We got a ton of action up for today as well. We have an African Nations Cup triple pack loaded up for today. We got a 5-pack up in the Scottish Premiership. We got a 4% NHL totals best bet as well. So a ton of players I really like for today as well. So obviously excited for that, and ready to break down some of these games today's show as well.
Yeah, no, that I watched the AC Milan game, and at the end, a very questionable call by the official stopping play and not giving Milan the advantage, and they end up scoring a goal to go ahead 2-1, and they negate the goal and give them a free kick instead. A lot of controversy and a lot of talk about it on the internet about it. Questionable and Italian officials usually don't go hand in hand, so it's a little surprising with that one. Anyways, guys, we got 4 games to talk about, so let's get right into it. EPL, this one is going today. Brighton and Chelsea. Let's have a quick look at the numbers here. Brighton plus 400. The draw is plus 280. Chelsea minus 143. That's come down a bit to about minus 125 this morning. Kevin and I are going to look at this, but I'm going to go first. These two teams played 3 weeks ago in a game that was postponed and had to have been made up. And this normally tough defensive Chelsea side gave up an injury time goal in that game to a Danny Welbeck header, and that finished in a 1-1 draw. Draws are kind of what Brighton does. I think they have 10 of them this year, and they're on a good run, 2-0-2. They're past 4 to move into the top half of the standings, but I think this is a bad spot for them. They're missing some players on AFCON duty, a couple to injuries, and those are players that are normally in their midfield, and they won those midfield battles against Chelsea that kept that game at 1-0 before they could snatch a point at the basically at the death there. Chelsea are getting some players back, Mason Mount, Jorginho. They're looking at like they likely will be back in the lineup, and this team has now gone 3 games without a win. That is the first time under Thomas Tuchel since he took over. While they're falling off the title race, top 4 is still their goal with Champions League going on. I think this is a good spot for this Chelsea team. They're 7-2-2 away from home. Those 2 losses to top 4 teams in the aforementioned Man City and West Ham. I'm going to look for them to get right back into the win column here in a very good display. I'm going to take Chelsea here at a very low price of minus 143, but it's down to minus 125. I'm not worried about that little bit of a price drop. Give me Chelsea in this game. Kevin?
I can't do that, Carmine. I just can't fire on them right now. I've actually fired on this game already myself. I took the outright draw plus 272. I quite like that price tonight. Plus 600 in the 1-1 correct scoreline as well. I think that's quite, a good bit of value there too. But I've been impressed with how Brighton are playing of late. You'd look back at that last gas draw against Crystal Palace on Friday night that they had. They were by far the superior team in that game. 2.18 to 0.51 XG, 20 shots to 3. So, never mind edging out in a draw in that game. They should have won that game clearly. And because of that, look, even with the players absent here, I do expect Brighton to provide a serious test for this Chelsea team later tonight. Down on the south coast. We have to face it. That game of the weekend was a bit of a dream crusher game for Chelsea. That's a college football analogy, obviously, when teams don't make, the bowl. But whatever chance they had of winning the league is gone now. It's evaporated for them with that 1-0 loss to Manchester City at the weekend. And that's big when they face the next game after that, when they know it's over. And Tuchel needs to check his blood pressure late. He looks more and more rattled with every passing game that goes on, getting off the bench, screaming at players. He criticised Lukaku at the weekend as well. You don't want that in the dressing room. And to me, Chelsea just look a little bit vulnerable right now. The other fact I like here is what you mentioned at the start. Brighton's recent head-to-head record against Chelsea is pretty good. The Seagulls have drawn 4 of the last 5 against Chelsea across all competitions. They've also lost just 1 of the last 8 matchups and all as well. So, while we know how talented this Chelsea team are, obviously, they've won just 1 game in the last 6 games overall in the Premier League. And especially coming off that nail in the coffin type of affair. I just mentioned against Manchester City as well. I just don't know how, you could lay a number here on Chelsea in this spot tonight. I'm actually, honestly, more concerned about Brighton winning this game more than Chelsea, to be honest. With the outright draw that I have. But that's the way I'm going to play this one. I'm going to go with the outright draw here. That's the play I like the most, obviously. But because of that, I like Brighton plus 3/4 of a goal as well on the Asian handicap, as I do the plus 600 and the 1-1 correct scoreline as well. Really like that price as well. But for the purpose of this show, the only one I've fired on so far in this game is that outright draw plus 272. And that's the play I'm going to stick with for this one. So outright draw plus 272 tonight for me between Chelsea and Brighton.
All right, we are head-to-head on this one. That's Kevin Dolan of WagerTalk.com. Guys, it's Tuesday, so obviously it is $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo. It's when you can get a featured cappers plays for only $2. These are plays that normally sell for $25 and $35. Over at WagerTalk, Andy Lang, he has a 2% play up. Along with that play, you can get some great promos inside the analysis section. And then over at Sportsmemo, if you've watched the hardwood hitters, you can get 3 different cappers for $2. Jesse Schul, college basketball play, NBA play from Dr. Chuck. I love Dr. Chuck. And John Ryan, who does an absolutely amazing job of hosting shows, college basketball play as well. And of course, there's some great promos inside those $2 packages. All right, guys, let's get on to the second game. This one goes tomorrow. Leicester City and Tottenham. Let's have a quick look at the numbers on this one. Leicester City, a dog at home, plus 210. The draw is plus 250. The Antonio-led and managed Tottenham, plus 125. Nick Borrman, I'm going to go to you first on this one.
Yeah, first thing to note here is absences. You got Leicester, several players out due to the AFCON tournament, while Tottenham, one of the rare few teams here in the league that actually is not affected at all by the AFCON tournament. However, they do have one big absence for this game. Heung-min Son is out with injury. That being said, even with some offensive absences on both sides, I think the play here is still on the over. Leicester, they've been an over machine this year. Only one of their last 11 games in all competitions stayed under the total. Going back even further, they have a 20-7 over-under record dating back to August. Their defense has just been bad all year. They're allowing 1.77 expected goals allowed per game, which is really quite high for a team that's supposed to be a top team or battling for a top 4 team anyway. In the Premier League, Leicester have a 13-5 over-under record, and they average a league-high 3.6 goals per game. The Spurs, they've actually been pretty solid defensively during their current 8-game unbeaten run, allowing just 4 goals during that span. However, don't just look at the results, look at the quality of opponents, and the quality has been absolutely dreadful. Only Liverpool is the top half team of the top half of the table team that they have faced. Of course, they allowed 2 goals to Liverpool, but everybody else that they've faced in that 8-game run is in the bottom half of the table. So they're doing what they should do, but I wouldn't put too much stock into how well, I guess, their defense has looked, although it has looked pretty solid. Lastly, though, when these two teams get together, usually we see fireworks. 7 of the last 9 meetings between the teams has finished over the total. And going back even further, 18 of the last 24 have finished over this total. I was actually able to grab a little bit on over 2.5 at minus 125 yesterday. That's now gone. It's like minus 135. So I still like it at over 2 3/4 goals. That's what the current line is, and it'll probably stay there until kickoff. But I think we'll see some goals here. I think the over is a solid play this one.
All right, Nick Borrman of WagerTalk.com. I will have a good promo for you guys after the next game that we discuss for all the guys on this show. Pavlos, give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, Nick made some very, very good points. I'm just gonna, just to fill those in by saying that Leicester, they're missing pretty much every midfielder they have. There's a lot of players missing in the AFCON. Amartey, Mendy, and Didi are, the guys that usually feature in those holding midfielder roles. Now the only midfielder that is left in that side is Chowdhury and Tielemans, which are pretty solid, but not, they're not nearly as good as, defensively as the other guys are. And Leicester, yes, they have a lot of problems, especially in the defense, because Fofana has been out for the entire season. Johnny Evans is out. Pereira, who is supposed to be their starting right back, is also out. Bertrand, who is a backup wing back, is also out. Castagne is going to miss a couple of months or maybe more with an injury. Sumare is also out. So this is a very depleted side, especially in the defense. and in the midfield, but also in the offense. They're missing Vardy, who is out. Iheanacho is in the AFCON, so there's that. I think Daka is back in contention, and he's gonna play. I don't know if he's gonna start, but he's gonna play in this match. But yeah, this Leicester side has had defensive issues all through the entire season, and when you pair them up with this Tottenham side, I think they're going to have a bad time, especially defensively. Tottenham, of course, as Nick said, they're missing Son, but everyone else, pretty much everyone else, is healthy. So it's interesting to see how Leicester will be able, or if they'll be able to stop Harry Kane and Mora and all the other guys. And it's also true that Tottenham have been quite solid defensively since Conte took over, but whenever these two sides meet, there's always a lot of goals. Tottenham, they beat Leicester by 4-2 in this venue last season, and they've been great against Leicester since Leicester returned to the EPL. They have 5 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw in this venue. I'm talking about Tottenham. During that span, Tottenham have scored in all 8 matches, and they scored 2+ goals in all 5 wins. So, the combination of a lot of absent players and both teams are very, very good offensively. I like the combination of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at -105. I think that Tottenham, even though they're good defensively, Leicester will find ways to hurt them because, they're a very good offensive side, but it's their defense that cause problems. So, this looks like it will have at least 3 goals, maybe more.
All right, Pavlos Laguretos of Sports Memo with his take on the Leicester City and Tottenham game. Okay, we're going to switch over another game, another EPL game, and the final EPL game that we'll be covering, and this is the Brentford Man United game. Let's have a quick look at the numbers on this one. Brentford plus 350 at home. The draw is plus 275. United minus 134. I'm going to go first on this one, and then I'm sure Kevin will be along to rebut my play and go the opposite way. But, this is a makeup of a postponed game that was supposed to be played earlier in the year. And United are they've got to try and forget what happened to them on the weekend, up 2-0 in the game against Aston Villa. And last 15 minutes, they blow that 2-0 lead, finishes in a draw. And now you're looking at the standings and you're wondering, okay, the title race is over for them. I think that was over a long time ago, but it is top 4. This is the top 4 and the Champions League spot that comes with it. And while I hate to use the phrase must win, this does seem like a must win for this United team and one that could jumpstart them. And I think they're playing the right team for it. They're currently sitting in, I believe, 6th or 7th place right now, 7th place. And historically, in the second half of the season, these top 6 spots don't change much. If you look at over the years, the teams in the top 6, there might be a little bit of shuffling, but they remain there. So they can't fall too many points off of those top 4 teams right now. Especially the top 3 are gone. It's that 4th spot that they're looking for. Cristiano Ronaldo, thigh injury, did not feature in that last game. Wasn't even on the bench. He might be available, they're saying, for this one, but they're catching a Brentford team, 1-4 their last 5 PL games, only 3 wins their last 15 games, and just a team that is struggling right now. And you got United, who are getting healthy, with the exception of Ronaldo. They are healthy. They have their back line back. This is one where the price really fits here, I think. I wouldn't want to pay more than 140 on this United team, but this is a team that, again, has played extremely well the last 2 seasons on the road. United only have 2 losses their last 36 games away from home, playing better on the road than they are at home, and this is probably where they're going to pick up the 3 points. They have a very favorable schedule, so this is a game that could jumpstart a winning streak for this United side and get them close to that top 4 spot. Give me Man United here at a very short price. Kevin?
A small rebuttal this time, Carmine, very small, because I don't really have, particularly strongly in this game. But, where do you start with what's going on at Manchester United right now? It almost looks as if poor Ralph has lost the dressing room completely himself. Rumours of unrest in that dressing room, confidence issues, and that late game collapse against Aston Villa at the weekend, only highlights those issues further. And it'll take a brave man like yourself to walk to the window laying, an odds-on price for this United team right now. It's not just a meltdown either on Saturday. United weren't the better team in that game either against Villa. Very even game for the most part. Villa had their own chances to win that game as well. So it's not enough to simply say, look, United were cruising to throw away a 2-goal lead in that game. That would be the lazy approach to evaluating that game. And they'll just dust themselves off and come again this week. The issues at this club are a lot more fundamental in my eyes, and the longer this goes on, the less Ragnick looks like the man up to the task of steering them out of it, in my opinion. I think if you're going to look at United here, I would look at them on the first half line instead of the full game. No team in the Premier League this season has conceded more first half goals than Brentford have. And that's an area United have been strong in. So United in the first half line at plus 135 looks a lot more appealing to me, than the minus 120 or so that the full game's priced up at. And, if you're looking for an even bigger price, and this will be, my choice for this game, the Manchester United draw halftime, full-time prop, which is Manchester United be winning at the break with the draw at full-time, is going off at a pretty mammoth plus 1,300. I like that, especially with, the way United are playing right now. Overall, the main part is I don't want any part of United really in this game. If you do like them, especially on that first half line, a cute little stat is that United have been incredibly strong on Wednesdays for whatever reason. Historically, they're undefeated in 100 of 116 games taking place in the middle of the week. But just as we highlighted a couple of weeks ago as well, with the United having an absolutely stellar Monday record, believe their Monday record was even better than this Wednesday record. It didn't do them a whole pile of good as Wolves took them out to the woodshed in that one. So I'm going to go with that plus 1,300 price in this one on that Manchester United draw halftime, full-time prop. The price looks a little too big to me. I love the value on that one. And if you're looking for something a little bit safer, I would have no problems taking Brentford in the plus 3/4 goal handicap line either in this one. So, yeah, Manchester United draw, halftime, full-time prop for me, plus 1,300. Really like that price.
All right, that is a huge price. Good luck to you. But if I'm on United, then, it's not really a good luck to you. Anyways, guys, I want to mention a show promo before we get into the final game from Spain. This is a show promo. It'll be good until Sunday at midnight. You can get 30-day soccer all-access package from any of the guys on the show with the coupon code TIME50. Time50 will knock $50 off that price of $149. So you'll get 30 days of soccer plays, and that includes all 5% plays for only $149. That's a great deal and good up until midnight on Sunday. So take advantage of that one over at SportsMemo or WagerTalk.com. All right, guys, we're heading into the final game. I joked about this at the top of the show. The Sevilla game on the weekend against Real Betis, someone threw what it looked like was an arrow. It looked like there was a flagstaff more than anything, hit one of the players who obviously fell to the ground injured, but was fine. The game was halted. It looked like it was going to be postponed, but then was played on. That wasn't a league game. It was the Copa del Rey, but they did finish off that game. So as we're talking about Sevilla, let's look at the Sevilla game against Valencia. Here are the numbers for this game. Valencia plus 220 at home. The draw plus 200. Sevilla plus 125. Nick, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Give me your thoughts on this game. Some juicy odds across the board.
Yeah, I mean, Sevilla, they just continue to find ways to win as they're trying to chase down Real Madrid for that La Liga title. They have 5 wins in their last 6 games, 4 of them by 1-0 score lines, which is the moral of this story. Valencia, they are the number 1 over team in the league with a 13-7 over-under record this year, but Sevilla is an under team with just a 6-14 over-under record on the year. And La Liga in general is an under league. Actually, only 3 teams in the entire league have an over 500 record when it comes to over-under this season. So it's a low-scoring league. But the first meeting between these teams ended with 4 goals. Sevilla won 3-1, which snapped a 7-game under streak between these teams in league play. However, even in that game, there was only a total of 1.65 expected goals generated. Valencia scored 1 goal on 0.44 expected goals, while Sevilla scored 3 on only 1.21. So, if we see those type of expected goal numbers again, I don't expect to see 4 goals actually scored. For the season, Sevilla is allowing just 0.99 expected goals per game on the road and a very low 2.5 shots on goal, which is extremely low. Both teams are missing some pieces due to AFCON and COVID, but that doesn't change my mind on how to play this. If Sevilla grab the lead, I expect them to do basically what they've done in 4 of the last 6 games, which is play out that 1-0 lead. They're very tough to break down if they're able to grab a lead. I'm not in love with the 2.25 number. Of course, I would wish we could get 2.5, but expectedly, because it's Sevilla and it is La Liga, you're not getting that number. We're getting 2.25, but I think it's still got a decent amount of value to play it, and I just don't see Valencia getting a ton of chances in this game. So take under 2.25 goals is how I'm looking at this one.
All right, Nick Borrman, WagerTalk.com. Pavlos, closing words or closing thoughts on this game. Tell us where we're going here.
Yeah, I totally agree with the under that Nick mentioned. Even though Valencia, they have been quite solid offensively this entire season. They have the 3rd best offense with 32 goals, 5th best home offense with 17 goals. Their defense is kind of bad. They have the 3rd worst defense with 32 conceded goals. While Sevilla, their numbers, especially on the defense, have been very, very good. Best defense with 13 conceded. Best away defense with 5 conceded. Sevilla have also been great against Valencia. They've won each of the last 5 against Valencia, but 4 of those matches were at Sevilla. And Sevilla, they haven't done a very good job in this venue. I mean, they did win by 1-0 last season, but that was their first win in the last 10 matches. They had 6 losses and 3 draws in this venue. So it goes to show that Valencia, they're always very, very careful when they host Sevilla. Now, 4 of the last 5 matches between the two sides had under 2.5 goals. And keep in mind that both these teams, they played Copa del Rey matches over the weekend, and Sevilla's match was partly postponed till the next day. So, and they also have a couple of matches coming up in a few days. So, all things considered, I also like the under 2.5 goals. But the only thing that worries me is the fact that Sevilla, they are missing their starting goalkeeper Bunu, who is with the Moroccan side in the AFCON, and I don't like either of the backups. I mean, they have 2 backup goalkeepers. The one is an under 21 guy who has grabbed, I think, 4 yellow cards in 7 matches this season with Sevilla's B side. And the other guy is the guy that he conceded 3 goals against Levante in league play not too long ago. And last season with Eibar, he wasn't really able to keep any clean sheets. So, yeah, this looks like an under match to me, possibly a Sevilla 1-0, maybe 2-0, something like that. Just judging by the numbers. But yeah, the only thing that worries me is the absence of their starting goalkeeper here. But the under 2.25 goals works. Yep.
All right, Pavlos Laguretos of Sportsmemo. Guys, we are going to get into our best bet segment. We are going to give you some plays for this weekend to look at. We've already talked 4 midweek games for you, but we're going to look at 4 weekend games. I'm quite surprised looking at this list that none of you guys took Sassuolo game this week in Italy, or this weekend in Italy. Well, we're going to kick it off with Kev. Kev, Saturday play in France. Tell us what you got, and tell us what you have up at Wager Talk.
Yeah, we're going to head over to France, as you said, this weekend for my best bet, Carmine, and more specifically French League One in the game between Lille and Brest in a big middle-of-the-table clash here for Saturday. We're going to take the over 2.5 goals in this game. Now, this is a system play we cashed on last weekend, actually, as well, but Lens and Saint-Etienne. And the system is where home teams who didn't score in their last game face road teams who did score in their last game. Face off against each other in games where the draw is not expected, priced at odds of plus 250 or above, and the over 2.5 is priced no higher than minus 143. Very exact system. But under those conditions, back in the over 2.5 goals in those games in French League One has seen a ton of profit over multiple seasons, 22.17% overall yield. For plus 51.65 units over the last 233 bets. So, pretty profitable angle there long term. and it's a play that I'll be on personally as well for this weekend. So yeah, Lille, Brest over 2.5 goals for me in French League One this Saturday, best bet. And as we mentioned before, AFCON triple pack up for tonight, Scottish Premiership 5-pack as well, and an NHL Totals 4% best bet loaded up for tonight. So yeah, ton of action from me.
All right, Kevin Dolan, WagerTalk.com. Next up, Nick Borrman. You're going to Germany and a Bundesliga play for us on Sunday.
Yep, I cashed on Bayern this past weekend over the total, and I'm going to look at it again this weekend. They could very well do this themselves if the total's high at 3.5, which is usually what we see in Bayern games. They won 4-0 on the road against Pavlos' favorite team, Köln. There was a good rebound game for them after their 1-2 home loss to Gladbach the week prior, which was their only game in their last 4 that they failed to score at least 4 goals themselves. Hertha Berlin played out a 0-0 draw this past weekend against Wolfsburg, which snapped a 3-game streak of over 3.5 goals in their games, which did include an impressive 3-2 win over Dortmund, although it's unlikely they're able to pull out another surprise here against Bayern, who have beaten them in 4 straight games, scoring at least 4 goals in 3 of those. Bayern, best expected goal numbers in all Europe, generating 3.12 per game, which doesn't bode well for Hertha Berlin, who have given up the second most goals in the Bundesliga this season, 38 through 19 games. So it's a high total, over 3.5, but I think it should have no problem getting there, and Bayern might do it themselves.
All right, Nick Borrman, WagerTalk.com. Pavlos, we are going back to France and a League One game on Sunday. Tell us what you got.
Yeah, I first of all I have a 10% max bet going live on Sunday, and I'm 8-1 with this max bets this season, so it's been going great. I have a 5% for today, Spanish 5%. I have a couple of soccer cards for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and one I think it's on Saturday. And I just love a lot of plays. I'm gonna be loading them either today or tomorrow. So, yeah, let's look at this best bet. We're talking about the Mets versus Nice match on Sunday from the French Ligue 1. I'm going to take Nice money line here. Nice are sitting at the second place with 39 points. They have 12 wins, 5 losses, and 4 draws, while Mets, they're sitting at the 15th spot with 19 points. Mets, they have been quite bad at home so far. They have 1 win, 5 losses, and 4 draws. They haven't kept a single clean sheet at home, and they have conceded 2+ goals in 70% of their home matches, while Nice, they're coming in hot. They have won 5 in a row. They scored 10 goals and conceded just 3 in that span. They have the best away record in the League One with 7 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. They've scored 18 goals and they have conceded just 5 on the road, which is just great. Nice, they've only dropped points on the road whenever they failed to score. That's just on 3 occasions. But they scored in the other 7 matches and scored 2+ goals in all 7 matches. So Mets, even though they did beat Nice by 1-0 earlier in the season, and they are unbeaten in the last 3 matches, I seriously expect that to change. Nice are one of the best teams in the League One this season. They have a scary attacking trio. So I expect them to, extend their winning streak to 6 matches because Mets, they're just a really much inferior side. So I like Nice money line -135 here.
All right. Best of luck to you, Pavlos Laguretos of Sports Memo. I will close off the best bet segment with a play on Sunday in Serie A. Juventus AC Milan, probably the big game of the weekend in Serie A. And I'm going to take Juventus +170. The DNA of this team is changing. It's taken a while, but this team is playing extremely well right now. 6-0-2 their last 8 Serie A games. 5 of those wins were clean sheet wins for this team. One of those wins was a huge comeback, down 3-1 at Rome, coming back and winning that game 4-3. As I said, while I'm not happy with the injury to Federico Chiesa with the ACL injury, this team has stepped up. They're playing better. They're putting that late season push together, that second half push to get a top 4 spot and a Champions League spot. And Milan have had some hiccups over the last 2 months. We saw one on Monday, losing at home to Spezia. This is a game where Juve has played extremely well over Milan over the years. I think they're 14-5-2, their last 21 Serie A meetings. I'm going to go with Juve at a good price here, +170 to win this game on Sunday. Guys, I want to mention a promo for myself. You can get a 30-day all-access package for only $199 when you use the coupon code all100. Off to a great start at WagerTalk for 2022, plus 4307 ROI in the first 18 days. You're going to get NHL, NFL playoffs, soccer, Champions League. The Leg 1s kick off at the beginning of February, the second week of February. So 30-day all access, you're going to get every single play for the next 30 days, including all of those sports. And of course, the Australian Open is going on right now as well, too. So take advantage of that by using coupon code all100. All right, guys, that's it for us on the show. We will be back next Tuesday, where we'll be talking some more midweek action. As always, guys, good luck with your wagers, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Why pay the regular price when you can save money on every purchase with WagerBucks at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo? WagerBucks are now eligible for use on not just daily, 3-day, and 7-day passes, but all long-term and seasonal packages up to 1 full year. There are tons of options available for every budget and size of bettor. From low as $100 gets $110, all the way up to $2,500 gets you $3,000. Save every day on every pick you buy with WagerBucks.